Hi, my name is Sonny Greenwich Jr. and today I'll be talking to you about my UF8 and using it with third-party plugins. Woohoo! Hey, how's it going? So I'm here to talk about my SSL UF8 and how I've been using it with third-party plugins. Although they do show you sort of how to do it in the SSL videos, it isn't actually quite that clear. And in fact, it's kind of complicated almost. So I'm going to show you how I've been doing it. Because my template is set up the way it is, I've been trying to get rid of as many third-party plugins as I possibly can to limit the amount of things that I'm using. It's a little bit different than what most people would do, but I think it would be of interest to you anyway. And I'll show you how I get those third-party plugins working using the UF8. And also a little tip with the UC1 as well. The first thing I'm going to show you, which is kind of a funny thing, I'm not sure if it's happening to everybody, but I've noticed that when I open up my channel strip plugin, my threshold has been all the way full out. What I did was turn the threshold off, everything else is at 0, and then I went and saved as default. Yeah, for some reason the threshold was on full and I couldn't figure out a reason why that was happening, so I just re-defaulted. Maybe I did it myself sometime earlier when I was messing around with the plugins. As you can see from my screen, I don't have many plugins on every track. What I do is I put SSL native from the very beginning track all the way to the end of my buses, one SSL native channel strip on each one of those. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move over to the drum bus, and you'll see that the channel strip has come up. So that's the first thing that's in my drum bus. Now I want to try and get to the plugins. So I'm going to push the plugin button over here, and you'll see that now what it's doing, just by pushing the plugin button once, showing me all the plugins that are on send 1 along here. So you can see it's all SSL native right there along the line. So that's something I didn't really want, because I mean, I could just move around using the UC1 over here for that. So what I wanted to do was for it to show me all the plugins in line with my track on my drum bus. So I hit the plugin button again, and you'll see now that the channel button comes up. Shows me everything that's coming up and down in the channel strip. There's SSL Native, Pro Q3, Gullfoss, Fresh Air, which is a free program that everyone should probably get. The Excite, by looking here, you can see there's nothing in this spot because sometimes I'll put the vitamin. Well, let me just put it in here. Now, you'll see that vitamin is here. Along that line, SSL Native, Pro Q, Gullfoss, Fresh Air, Excite, Vitamin, and the L2. And they're all in line. If I want to use them, I'll go to the Gullfoss, push the button, and the Gullfoss now comes up. So the Gullfoss is on my screen. It's also now showing you all the parameters that you can change. So it's the bias, the brighten, and so on right there. Let's see if I play this song. So it shows you that I can change the amount of recover or tame right with the buttons right here. Hitting the plugin button brings me back up. Now also, if you want to switch around in your plugins here, you see that I'm now sending on 3. So I just move by touching these buttons here. Now I'm back to 1. And that shows me that I'm on channel strip 1 right across the top. Now the only issue that I've been running into is that using these arrow keys, what I like to do is to push down on the channel button, and now I can use it as my transport. So that is a really handy thing. So you just have to remember the light is on here, push this channel button rotator in again, and now you'll be able to move through your sends here again. Okay, so that's one thing that's a little bit kind of funny. Apparently, 70% of you are not subscribed to the channel. Go on down below and subscribe. Hit the bell button, smash the stuff, you know what to do. By hitting the plugin button again, the channel button comes up again. Let's try fresh air this time. So you click on fresh air, and now you see that in the screens here, you'll see it. Let me just start it up again. You'll be able to take up the mids and the highs, which is absolutely brilliant. All the plugins seem to map automatically when you push these buttons, the plugin buttons here. Although sometimes they're coming into they'll be in a weird order. Instrument 5, there's nothing on that channel. So let me the vintage EQ, tube EQ, which is basically the pull tech. I've got the plugin button here, channel on, and now you can see that it is the SSL native in 1 and the tube EQ in 2. So I press down on the tube EQ, and lo and behold, the buttons are mapped. This vintage tube EQ in Logic is fantastic. So everything is right there mapped out for you, which is brilliant. It really is amazing that you can do this stuff. And it's so easy to do too. I've zeroed out the desk. You're now seeing the pans here. If you want to change what you're seeing from the pans to the volumes that each of these channels have, you hit track here, and then you'll see the volumes. I'm going to select the drum bus. Now you'll see that the channel strip has come up on number 1, and now I hit plugin. All the plugins are the send number 1 now. Hit the plugin again, so it says channel, and then you can see that all the plugins that are on this channel are now available to you just by pushing one of these buttons. It shows me that I am in plugin 5. If you want to go back to the normal plugin page, you see that my light is on here, so that means that I have to turn off the transport by pushing this button. Using the up button, I can switch between the sends across all the tracks that you can see here. But I prefer just being on the channel anyway. It seems to be much easier. I like to basically zero out myself. I hit the pan button, that takes me back to 0, but it shows me the pans here. So once again, if you want to see volumes here instead of pans, you go to your V-pot and hit track, and that'll bring up your pans. Now another thing that I like is the 360 program. So if I hit the 360 here, that brings up the 360. I've changed a couple of the things in my first pot. So right now I have a vertical scroll and a horizontal scroll that I've put into my patch 1. This is using the 360 as a mixer. Using the 360 program like this, I'm able to use it as a desk. So this is what you would be looking at on an SSL desk if you were actually working on a desk. You can see where you've done things and where you haven't done things just by looking at it, because everything here now is showing you exactly what's on the tracks that you've selected here. I'm using it on the buses just dead straight with nothing on them. To be able to solo using the UC1, you have to have an instance of the channel strip on each one of the tracks. Okay, now here I can see a remnant of that thing I was saying to you. The old threshold is at full, and I don't know why that is. I'm not using this at all, so I'm going to just turn it down, and then Command S for a save. I don't know if you can see this, but just by pressing that button, you can actually bring it down. Pushing this in. Now, start it up, and you can see all the tracks running at the same time. Exactly as a desk would be running normally for you. And also you have the transport here as well, which is showing up. So you can click it with your mouse, use the transport on the actual UF8, which is fantastic. I hope that's a little bit more clear. I know it seems complicated. I'm not really sure why they've decided to show all along the first input on a bunch of tracks in a row. I can't really think of any reason why I would want to change everything at one go, but you can do it if you want to. So let's go back. Pan, that clears everything else. Plugin button, it shows you everything along all the first sends for all the plugins. Hit it again, it shows you your channel button. So whatever channel you're on, it'll show you up here every plugin that's in the strip that you're on. Hopefully that's a little bit more obvious to you. All the plugins seem to be mapped immediately as soon as you use the UF8. You just have to go in, try the knobs, it'll tell you what is on each knob, and then you can actually run your third-party plugins from the desk. So thanks a lot, everybody. So many new people here. Thank you very much. I appreciate you stopping by and signing up and subscribing and all that business. I'll be back to you again next week. Thanks a lot, guys.